Hello again. Welcome back to Saturdays at Derek's. I'm Mike.
And I'm finally proud to be an American!
For like 2 whole seconds.
Yes.
Because earlier this week, the Supreme Court of the United States said gay people can marry. Now they get to be just as fucking miserable as the straights.
Well, it's just finally nice that we're finally actually at a place in this country where we're following through with what we say we should be following through with, mainly equality for all. It's a shame that we're so far behind the times that other countries have allowed citizens to be who they are without fear of prosecution, without fear of being told you can't be like everybody else.
You're not good enough.
Yeah.
You're deviant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, and the funny thing is, like, the people that are angry about this decision tend to be the people who on Facebook are the ones that post a lot of pictures of eagles and American flags and support our troops and freedom and liberty and rah rah America. Those guys are mostly the ones that are upset that suddenly we've given freedom and liberty to gay people.
Yeah. It's like, what the hell are you people thinking? Why are you what you say? Why is what you say so different from what you actually believe? You know.
Yeah. Well, and the idea that it's gonna ruin marriage and it's an abomination in the eyes of God.
Look,
and I love all the people who have like vowed to do really outlandish things
like
leading up to this. Well, the priest that said he was going to start himself on fire if gay marriage got legalized. That couple that said that they'd get a divorce if gay people got to be married. You cocksuckers had better fucking follow through with this because I want to see it.
And then go back to not breed unless you get married, because last thing we need is children like you.
Well, and even leading up to this, my big question about those people has been, why should I give a shit? You know, why do I care if you get divorced because gay people can get married? Mm-hmm. You're an asshole. It's that simple. You know, why are you threatening to start yourself on fire? Why should I give a fuck about you starting yourself on fire? If you're that much of an intolerant fucking a-hole, then maybe you should just take yourself out of the equation.
I actually care less about people getting divorced because gay people are getting married than I do about gay people getting married.
Yeah, well, I guess, and the big thing for me is why does it matter? I mean, it's just two people that love each other, that want to have all the benefits that everybody else does when they get married. I mean, love is still love, no matter, you know, what naughty bits you're rubbing together.
Yep.
The whole argument's fucking ridiculous. You know, just as ridiculous as the other argument that's been all over the media this week, the whole thing with the Confederate battle flag.
Yeah.
I mean, God, can we fucking worry about something that actually matters for once? Please? I mean, we've got a government that's trying to put together a Trans-Pacific Partnership that's basically NAFTA on fucking steroids. Why aren't we worrying about that? NAFTA fucked this country up enough. Why the hell should we not be freaking out that they want to do it on a larger scale and make things even worse?
Because the politicians that are trying to push it are the same people who don't want you to freak out about it. So they're giving you something else to freak out about.
You know, it's asinine. People are just bitching and screaming about shit that does not matter at the end of the day. While things that absolutely do matter are being completely ignored.
Like the freedom to get married if you're gay.
Yes. It should not be a fucking issue. It should just, yes, get married. Go, do it. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves.
Be miserable like the rest of us.
Well, love each other the best you can and put together a life for yourselves.
And really, if you want gay people to stop having sex with each other, let them get married.
Yeah.
Because it will stop. It's just... It makes me angry that we are so intolerant as a group of people. That this country doesn't want people to have freedoms. Which is weird. It's weird that the same people are like, you can't take away my freedom. I'm too busy taking away their freedom. And now they're complaining about, well, if you let gay people get married, you're taking away people's religious freedom because you're forcing churches to marry people. Nobody's forcing churches to marry people.
No, church does not need to have anything to do with it. Marriage is not really a religious institution in as much as they think it is. You want to get married? Go to the courthouse, sign the papers. The judge will go, do you? Yeah. Do you? Yeah, you are. That's simple. Religion does not need to have anything to do with marriage.
So let people go out, let people be happy doing what they want, being who they want to be, not necessarily who they want to be even, but just being who they are.
Yeah, actually, I'm ordained as a Dudeist priest. I could marry people. No, it's true. Yeah.
You're a nudist?
Yeah. Not a nudist, a dudist.
A dudist, that's what I said.
Yeah. The Church of the Latter-day Dude? Yeah.
I did not know that.
No, I signed up with that God, must be 5 years ago now. Yeah, I've got the printout of my ordination on my fridge. It's literally that's how much religion really matters in marriage. You can go on the internet and get the authority to fucking marry people.
Yeah.
But of course, our favorite politician, Mike Huckabee, of course, has something to say about this. So I just want to read this off real quick from Mike Huckabee. The Supreme Court has spoken with a very divided voice on something only the Supreme Being can do. Redefine marriage. I will not acquiesce to an imperial court any more than our founders acquiesced to an imperial British monarch. We must resist and reject judicial tyranny, not retreat. This ruling is not about marriage equality. It's about marriage redefinition. This irrational, unconstitutional rejection of the expressed will of the people in over 30 states will prove to be one of the court's most disastrous decisions, and they have had many. The only outcome worse than this flawed, failed decision would be for the President and Congress, two co-equal branches of government, to surrender in the face of this out-of-control act of unconstitutional judicial tyranny. The Supreme Court can no more repeal the laws of nature and nature's God on marriage than it can the laws of gravity. Under our Constitution, the court cannot write a law, even though some cowardly politicians will wave the white flag and accept it without realizing that they are failing their sworn duty to reject abuses from the court. If accepted by Congress and this president, this decision will be a serious blow to religious liberty, which is the heart of the First Amendment. My God, it's going to take 45 minutes to go through all the bullshit and misinformation in that fucking statement. First of all, what the fuck has the Constitution got to do with this?
Other than
He cited it being unconstitutional 3 times.
It's unconstitutional to not allow it. I'm pretty sure that's what the argument was.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness?
Yes. Equality? Isn't equality part of the Constitution?
I believe so.
I mean,
okay. Really, the court has spoken with a divided voice on something only the Supreme Being can do. Okay, first of all, you have to believe in God. Second of all, I'm pretty sure God's name is not one of the signatures at the bottom of the Constitution.
Yeah.
Or on any fucking law in this country.
Well, I'm pretty sure also that there's a separation between church and state.
Yeah, well, that's what they tell us. Okay, I will not acquiesce to an imperial court. What fucking imperial court?
Do we get it?
This country is a fucking republic. It's not an empire. As much as assholes would like to paint it as an empire because, they're evil.
Well, this is the first country I've ever seen to elect an emperor.
Okay, this ruling, yeah, I do, right, because an emperor's, yeah, good point. This ruling's not about marriage equality, it's about marriage redefinition. Who exactly has defined marriage as man and woman? Where's the fucking law that says
I believe
man,
that was
woman,
Republicans.
It's
Isn't a marriage just a combining of two bodies?
Yes.
Two separate bodies into one body?
Yes. Yeah, legally speaking.
Well, yeah. Well, what?
It's almost like a small personal corporation.
Right. Yeah, because you have marriages between businesses.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, not literal marriages where, you're going to have babies overeat and throw things at each other. But yeah, it's two separate entities coming together as a single entity, yes. I mean, technically speaking, that is a marriage, yeah.
I mean, my food gets married.
Okay, the Supreme Court can no more repeal the laws of nature and nature's God on marriage than it can the laws of gravity. All right, again, when the fuck did God become a lawyer and start writing laws? Where the fuck is this written down? The man's a lunatic. I love him that he's a lunatic because I get to fucking rail about the stupid shit he says. And thank God he's too much of a fucking moron to actually become president.
Well, sexuality isn't a choice. It's part of who you are. It's a chemical response. That is nature.
Yeah.
And the laws of nature dictate who we find attractive. And if it's a man, it's not necessarily a woman. Every gay person I've talked to has said it's not a choice, it's who they are. They've known since before puberty who they were attracted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to blame somebody for homosexuality, blame God. Now, if you want to say God's responsible for creating everything and that God's omnipotent, okay. So then God was responsible for creating the circumstances that result in homosexuality.
Yeah. Yeah. If
otherwise you have to admit,
homosexuality was such an abomination against God, then why did God create homosexuals?
Yeah. Otherwise you have to admit, you can either admit that or you can admit that God is flawed.
Right, which completely destroys the basis of your faith.
So, why do you always why do these people always freak out about all this bullshit?
Why are all the arguments against gay marriage based in religion? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I understand people's dislike and fear of it. But it's the way people are. So either learn to deal with it or well, I don't even know what I don't even know how to finish the argument.
At the end of the day, it doesn't even really affect you. What somebody else does with their life means nothing to you. Let it go. Live and let live. Freedom to choose. That is what America is about, and frankly, it's part of being a decent human being. So, suck it up, shut the fuck up, and let it go.
Yeah. And on the other side of things, gay people, congratulations on finally having somebody backing you up on this shit.
Yeah, and it's about goddamn time too. It's been way too long. I mean, for a society that likes to pat itself on the back for having freedom. It seems like everybody but straight white males have had to fight their asses off to become free and get treated as equal citizens.
Yeah, that's
Black people, women, gay, pretty much every other group but white males have had to struggle like hell just to get treated like a human being. And in 2015, we really need to fucking have the courage of our convictions and actually follow through on, what we talk about.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that pretty much covers everything there. Let's move on to somewhat more pleasant, nerdy shit.
Yeah. And kind of humorous on the video game news, I guess we could call this. Arkham
Knight. Batman Arkham Knight came out this week.
Kind of.
Well, it came out on consoles and it did come out on PC for like that
2 days.
Long. And then it got pulled because it was buggy as hell. Daggerfall. Yeah, it was buggy as shit. However, we got a copy on PlayStation 4, which works just fine. And we liked it. We had a lot of fun with it.
The controls took some getting used to.
Well, the thing with the controls, I really wish they had included the ability to change the control layout, because we've been playing Grand Theft Auto for a year now. And when I'm driving a car, this is the gas, this is the brake. But not in Arkham City. Every time I hit this to slow the car down, it goes and turns into combat mode. Which brings me to my other bitch. At this point, and I'm only like 12 to 15% into the game, so maybe it lightens up later. But at least in the early part of the game, it is way too fucking Batmobile heavy. I mean, the Batmobile is nice, but the fact that you've got to go through all these puzzles to figure out how to get it over jumps and shit to get it where you need to be, otherwise you can't actually move forward with the story, aggravates the fucking shit out of me. If I want a driving game, I'll go get Gran Turismo or something.
Right.
I wanted a Batman Arkham game, and to me, Batman Arkham game is about the investigations, and it's about outmaneuvering all the bad guys, sneaking from gargoyle to gargoyle and going through the grates under the floor, and doing the pop-up takedowns, and that stuff is in the game. But I spend so much time farting around with the goddamn Batmobile that it kind of detracts from what I really enjoy about the Arkham games.
I wonder if some of that was an attempt to create a more open world game, kind of a more Grand Theft Auto type game, where you are driving from one place to another and then hopping out and doing some missions from time to time.
Yeah, I just feel like it's skewed way too heavily toward the driving part of the game. That and Gotham is really narrow. It's like driving on side streets in Madison.
Yeah.
It's the streets are like super narrow and they're really twisty and curvy, and I understand that that's supposed to make a good driving experience, or an
Every
interesting
street
driving.
Is Williamson Street.
Yeah, but exactly, and there is absolutely like no room to really maneuver, and there are missions in there. There's like these big mines. There's bombs that are like placed in the middle of roadways, and you have to upload a virus program to them in order to like detonate them safely. But the minute you do, a shitload of the villains' tanks show up, and you're stuck in such a small space, and there are so many enemies. It's a massive pain in the ass to try to outmaneuver them, and you can only work within a certain area. If you leave this one small area, it will stop doing the virus upload to the bomb, and you got to start over again. So
That sounds like a pain in the ass.
It is. It's like tight quarters, shit tons of enemies, and it's just it's hard to do, and it gets frustrating.
On the other side of that, the Batmobile does transform into its own tank.
Yes.
And it controls kind of cool.
Yeah. Actually, controlling in combat mode, I kind of dig. I get that I'm kind of bitching about it right now, and don't get me wrong, it's a really great game, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's just there are certain things that detract from the experience, and the heavy focus on the Batmobile detracts for me. And the thing with having to maneuver in the tight little spaces kind of takes away a little bit of the fun for me. But there's still the investigation. They've actually made the investigation mode a little bit deeper now. Because when I was talking to you last night over PSN while I was playing it, I was actually doing an investigation where they had kidnapped Barbara Gordon and then crashed the Humvee that they were taking her away in, and you go in and you go into investigation mode, and the computer actually extrapolates what happened in the accident, and you got to kind of play back and forth in the footage to figure out what happened. So you get up there initially and you use investigation mode on the truck, and then it plays this little chunk of video that shows like a ghost version of the truck following the tire tracks and the collision point and jumping over the car that it had hit and crashing into a retaining wall. And then you had to go back through the footage and watch where the driver flew through the air and then go over to where that guy landed and investigate that. And it ends up taking like quite a lot of time because there's like 5 different things you have to focus on and then review all the video footage. But it makes the investigation very deep, and I hope the rest of the game they do a lot more of that, because there's a lot of mission investigations that you're actually throwing over to Alfred to take care of. Yeah, I'm the Dark Knight detective, but the butler takes care of my fucking light work. But again, it's cool, it's fun, I really enjoy it.
Just some nitpicky
I hope
stuff.
yeah, it's little fiddly things that kind of annoy me, and I'm hoping for some cool extra content, because I did pick up the season pass for it, so all the DLC for the next 6 months I'm just gonna get now. But the initial DLC, all I got was a skin for Batman.
Yeah. Well, you'd already gotten all the free stuff too that came with it, like the.
I got Harley Quinn. I got the Red Hood.
We played a little bit of the Harley Quinn one.
I got the Batman 66 stuff that they included. Harley Quinn.
That was pretty cool. The instead of detective mode, she's got an insane mode.
A psychosis mode, yeah.
And like puts all kinds of crazy writing on the walls, and everything turns red.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. And although speaking of insanity, no, actually, I'm gonna stop there. I don't want to
go back and
spoil. Well, I don't want to. I don't want to spoil like the interesting psychosis plot twist that comes up in it, because it is so new. But maybe after a month, once hopefully most people have gotten to play it, we'll turn around and talk about it, because I felt it was a really interesting idea and a cool plot point. So I'd like to revisit it later.
Have you touched any of the Red Hood stuff?
No, I haven't actually tried working on that yet.
Have you figured out how to put on the other skins yet?
Yeah. There's I don't remember if it's under options or something, but there's a menu for all the different skins, and you can just switch around.
On the Batman 66?
No, I haven't. And they had the skin thing for the Batmobile. That it said it was gonna make it the 66 Batmobile, but it's the regular like armored tank Batmobile, and it's just got the red bat symbol and some red trim.
Oh.
So, not what I was hoping for. I mean, I was kind of hoping it would actually just be the 1966 bubble top Batmobile
Like
with the red light and
Where
shit.
you go to tank mode, like the trunk opens up and a big old 1966 style gun comes out the trunk. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
But that would have also taken probably more time than they were willing to invest in it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a fun game. It's got little flaws, and maybe they're not even flaws. Maybe it's just stuff that kind of sticks in my craw. But we did have a lot of fun playing co-op, and I think at some point we're actually going to just do some game footage of us playing the game.
Mm-hmm. Making fun of it, making funny voices and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, I think that's about it for this week. So have a good one, and we'll catch you next Saturday.
Go America, doodles.